off from the airport in Vancouver, bound for Heathrow Airport in London. Less than a minute after taking off, the plane was struck by lightning. The flight carried on and arrived safe and sound in London. CTV's done a little digging into all this, and apparently the average jetliner is struck by lightning once a year. This is Canada Calling and online at canadacalling.com. Prior Smith speaking from Toronto.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to the Knife and Fork Radio Show right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network. Hopefully, everyone's having a great Thursday morning. I know I am. Mike, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm awesome.
I'm doing awesome. That's what we like to hear. Everybody's doing awesome. That's great. Well, it's been a great week since we talked to you guys last. We had a lot of fun stuff that we did at work. We got a lot of cool stories to talk about today. And we're just going to get down to it. We're going to get right into the news like we do every week. And we're going to have a great time with this show today and keep everybody informed. What do you say, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So we've got a really good show lined up for today. Before I get into the news, I've got a real special guest that's going to call in about, 9:20-ish, right after our first break. I got Teddy B from American Foods. Now, Teddy's been in the industry for 50-plus years, and he really knows everything about the restaurant industry. He's probably forgotten more than I know, but hopefully I get as much knowledge as he has one of these days myself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's done it all. So he's got his hands in a bunch of different businesses. And then his American Foods distribution is one of my purveyors that I use over here. Just a salt of the earth, a great guy. So that's coming up after the first break at 9:21. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and get into the news. Now, last week we talked about the Wendy's surge pricing. Mike, you remember that?
I do remember that.
And there was a huge uproar and a huge backlash from everyone about that because people are saying, well, what the hell am I going to pay, more for a sandwich during this time than at that time if it's the exact same thing? Well, apparently the Wendy's CEO clarified the position for Wendy's on the surge pricing. And now he's saying that was never the case. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to lower the prices during slow times versus raise the prices during high times. It got so much backlash on the internet and people were so worked up over this that Wendy's is backpedaling right now, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. Isn't that nuts?
Well, I mean, I guess, the wrong verbiage on that. Surge pricing, probably shouldn't use that.
I got to tell you, yeah, I feel the same way. And maybe that was their original intent and it came out the wrong way. But I firmly believe that these guys knew exactly what they were talking about and they rolled it out exactly as it was supposed to be rolled out. And then they realized how bad of an idea it was when they finally introduced it. And they said, we need to back it up and we need to do something different because we're pissing off a lot of people out there right now.
Well, I'll tell you, there's 3 Wendy's in my area that are closed down.
Yeah.
Because of,
really?
They closed.
And that's interesting. That's weird because you don't really see a lot of these big fast food moguls closing down ever. They're always.
They're staples for 20, 30 years in that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one right there on Del Mabry and Fletcher.
Did that
one
close down
too.
Really?
The other one has by the strip club. The one that used to be by the strip club.
Out there on Del Mabry?
Yeah, on Del Mabry.
Right.
I forgot the name of it. What's
whatever
the most
it is.
famous strip club in Tampa?
Never been there.
Never been there, Ed?
The strip club, not the Wendy's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
You got to wonder, where was the CEO on this one?
I don't know.
The one that makes $1 million a year, that when they came through the room,
sure,
that he had to approve it.
I mean, I would think so, right?
You would think that's a dumb idea. That's what you're getting paid for.
Exactly right. Yeah. And he went ahead and he allowed it to get released and it went to the public and the public went nuts about it and said, we're not going to do it.
Maybe he's on vacation.
Maybe
he's on vacation.
Yeah, he could have been. And he didn't know anything about it. He got back to work. He's like, what have you guys done to my company? Surge pricing.
Surge pricing at 100 stores closed down?
We're never going to do it. Ever. Not in a million years. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit because that was a big topic on the show last week. And I guess they're backpedaling now, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be.
Oh, well, that's tough.
Yeah, that is.
On the same subject, I would like to talk about the pizza.
Oh my God! All right, let's get into it. Let's dig into it right now.
Let's dig into it. I'd like to hear your experience on the pizza.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what. As I promised everyone on the show last week, I was going to try the infamous KFC pizza, and I did exactly that yesterday. So during my day at work, I'm getting some last minute prep done for today's show. And then it's like, all right, it's time. So I just, despite, that I never wanted to do it, but I had to. I was obligated. I threw it out there, so I had to do it. So I got in my car. I drove to the KFC right down the street from the restaurant. And I got 2 pizzas. I got one for myself.
Okay.
And then I got one for my staff to try. So that way they could kind of get an idea as to what it was also.
Right.
And so I go there, I order these 2 pizzas, $20 for 2 pizzas, $10 each. Whew. So I'm thinking, man, this is going to be good. I can't wait to get back to the shop, right? So I get back to the shop, I open the box, and it was underwhelming to say the least. So let's go ahead and say that. When I opened the box, the only redeeming quality of the entire dish was the actual chicken. And you would expect the chicken to be done correctly because it's coming from KFC. Right. So that was never worried about that. I was worried about the rest of the dish composed in its entirety. And I'm going to tell you, it was disgusting. I mean 100% disgusting. It was the fried chicken that you would normally get from KFC. Yeah. And then on top of it, there was some, and they don't have chefs working in the KFCs.
Of course not.
So there's nobody back there wearing an apron, and Luigi's not back there making, like pots of marinara for these pizzas. So they're buying their product from somewhere. But the product that they bought is the worst. It just tasted like tomato paste right out of a can.
Oh, I love tomato paste.
No flavor at all. It was red. It was like tomato paste with water added, maybe to thin it out a little bit.
Yeah, probably to make it stretch.
They sprinkled maybe 15 pieces of mozzarella cheese on it. Did not even melt it. They put it on the top of it cold. And then just took a handful of pepperoni and just threw it on the box. And just wherever it landed is where it landed. Half of it was in the box next to the food. The other half was on it.
Was the pepperoni cold?
The pepperoni wasn't cold, but I think that the steam from inside the box was the heating element for that. I don't think they heated it up previously.
Okay, so it's hot from the chicken.
And I got to tell you, man, it didn't live up to the hype. It was absolutely horrible. It was disgusting. And I'm happy to say that I'm never going to try that again.
It looks like, when I saw it on TV, it looks like they just put the chicken in there, then they threw the tomato sauce on it, and the pepperoni and cheese, and then they shook it up in the box.
That's exactly what it is.
And then they give it to you.
That's exactly. I got a picture of it.
It's like when when you shake chicken wings,
sure.
to get the sauce all over it.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
And that's pretty much exactly what it seemed like too. It was just a big sloppy mess. And I'm not looking for presentation when I go to KFC. So believe me, I'm not looking for fine dining presentation or anything like that. But at least have a little bit of pride in what you're putting in a box. You know what I mean?
A little bit.
I'm not asking for the world here. Just give me a little bit.
Now, and on the other hand, I did go to KFC to get one.
Okay.
And they were out of the ingredients. Fortunately, they didn't have any.
Oh my God, you got lucky yesterday, man.
Lucky.
You hit the home run when they said they were out of it.
Tuesday night, they were just out.
How do they run out of the pizza ingredients? It's the biggest thing that the restaurant industry has seen in years.
Since the chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
Since the Popeyes chicken sandwich. And they're out of it.
Maybe they sold that many.
You know what? It's a possibility. It's an absolute possibility.
They've tricked that many people.
I'm here to tell you, folks, if you'd like to try it, by all means, do what you'd like to do. If you'd like to take any advice from anyone that's ever been in the restaurant business before, like myself or Mike, just do yourself a favor and don't do it, because you're instantly going to regret spending the $10 on this item, as I did. So
Agreed.
that's our review on the pizza. Dorothy from last week, if you're out there listening, hopefully you are. Make sure that you take that to heart, what we just said, because you were asking us last week about it, and I wanted to go ahead and touch on that today as well.
Do not eat the pizza.
Ever. Moving on to restaurant news. This is a good one. You ever go to First Watch, Mike?
Yeah, I love First Watch.
Man, I got to tell you, it is one of my wife and I's and our daughter's favorite restaurants. We go there. I get the same thing every time. And it's absolutely delicious. But First Watch, this number is staggering. $1 billion in sales last year.
Wow.
When they ended the 2024 quarter.
Really?
$1 billion. And you walk into a First Watch, you can tell it's a cool little place. It's got a nice vibe to it. It's relaxing. It's fun. But you don't realize they're a behemoth. I didn't realize they were that big. I knew they had multiple locations, but I had no clue they were that big.
Multiple.
And they're based right out of Bradenton.
Yes,
their first store was in Bradenton, Florida, another Florida-based restaurant chain that's absolutely taken the country by storm.
Yep.
Good for them.
Good for them.
And their food is good. I've never had a bad meal with them ever.
I've never had a bad meal from them. It makes me feel good that they're making billions of dollars, because I had a manager one time that I had to fire.
Right.
And she went over this person went over to First Watch and got a job.
Okay, gotcha.
And then got fired a week later.
From First Watch.
Yeah,
wow.
So
I see a pattern developing here.
What I'm saying.
I can't put my finger on it, but I see a pattern developing.
Makes me feel much better.
And kudos to a restaurant that can do breakfast, lunch, and then shut down.
Absolutely, man. It's every restaurant operator's dream is to be able to go into work at 6 a.m. and leave there by 2 p.m. I mean, it's unheard of in what we do. Absolutely unheard of. So yeah, good job.
And making billions doing it.
And making money. They have 524 stores now.
Wow.
That's 524 stores. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. They've really figured it out. Another tidbit in restaurant news this week about another breakfast joint, IHOP, everyone's favorite Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity joint.
Oh,
In the International House of Pancakes, might have you. They've got Thin Mint pancakes now on the menu in honor of the Girl Scout cookie drive that's going on.
oh, wow.
I thought that was pretty cool that they're doing that. So basically what it is, it's a buttermilk pancake. It's green. So I don't know if they put food coloring in there or what. It's got bits of chopped up Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies in it. And then they top it with some kind of like a cheesecake whipped cream, I guess, to go with it.
Really?
Which was pretty cool. I thought that would probably be a pretty tasty breakfast. I don't like the sweet breakfast. I'm not a fan
Nor
of
do I.
waffles. I'm not a fan of pancakes. I appreciate them because of what they are. But for me, like you put all that sugar and all that crap on them, it just doesn't work.
Well, I mean,
But-
it just slows me down for my day.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what though, I can get down on some Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, yes.
Man, it's the highlight of my year when I see them standing out in front of the grocery store. I walk up and they're standing out there with their, what are the ones that I like? They got like coconut and chocolate on them, and there's caramel in the middle. I don't know, not the tag alongs. I don't know, whatever they are.
I don't remember the name.
God, they're so good. And the Thin Mints are no slouch either.
Samoas?
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's-
Samoas.
Maybe that's
That
what
might
is.
be it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
My daughter sold Girl Scout cookies.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just saw them.
The Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, the Samoas.
Oh,
yeah.
that's what it is. The Samoas.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My God, they are so good. I love them. But yeah, so it's a good time of the year when the Girl Scout cookies come out because I buy them.
Well, here's a tip
Yeah.
on Girl Scout cookies. Don't keep them in your house.
Okay.
Keep them in the garage so you have to go all the way out.
Oh yeah.
Get up and go all the way out.
Now they go right in my freezer.
well,
man.
because you're in,
yeah,
you're-
right in there.
I mean, you're literally breaking out your debit card at the end of the week.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. You're in for it for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to thank everybody that's out there listening to us live today on Facebook. You can always go to our show page, which is the Knife and Fork Show. You can stream us live on our Facebook page, or you can stream us on the Tan Talk Radio Network as well on their webpage, or you can always listen to us live on 106.1 FM or 1340 AM. The call lines are open. We've got Teddy lined up for a call right after we do our first break. But if there's anyone out there listening today that wanted to call in and comment, you can reach us at 727-441-3000. Or if you're outside of the listening area, you can always reach us at 1-866-826-1340. It's the Knife and Fork Show with Eric and Mike.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
At Goodfellas Knife and Fork Italian Kitchen, we never compromise quality. Every dish is made to order, and everything that goes in the dish is made from scratch. From our delicious marinara sauce to our homemade croutons that go in your Caesar salad and everything else in between. We offer dine-in, takeout, and delivery as well. Call us at 727-841-8864 or check us out on the web at www.goodfellowsitalian.com. We also have a full catering menu available for all of your large party needs. Mention this ad and get 10% off your entire order. Once again, that's Goodfellas Knife and Fork Italian Kitchen. We're located at 5446 Grand Boulevard in beautiful downtown Newport Richey. You can reach us at 727-841-8864. Check us out on the web at www.goodfellowsitalian.com.
This April 9th to the 14th, join us in Lakeland at Sun and Fun's biggest event ever. Discover a jam-packed lineup of special events all week long. Dazzling air shows and hundreds of exhibits are waiting for you. And don't miss a once-in-a-lifetime concert by Dylan Scott.
I need one she ain't climbed up in, that ain't played her favorite songs.
With special guest Sarah Evans on opening night Tuesday, April 9th at 6 p.m. Witness the Thunderbirds soar through the afternoon sky as you explore more than 500 exhibitions. Watch mesmerizing fireworks shows on Wednesday and Saturday night and more. Get ready for an immersive experience for the whole family. And don't forget, you can bring kids under 10 for free, whether you stay for a day or all week. Take fun to new heights this April. Don't miss out on Sun and Fun 2024. Get tickets and a guaranteed parking pass at flysnf.org. That's flysnf.org.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
everyone. You are listening to the Knife and Fork Radio Show with your esteemed hosts, Mike and Eric. And we got Ed back there on the board telling us what to do and when to do it. And without his guidance, we would be very unsuccessful as far as this show is concerned, because Mike and I are just a couple knuckleheads and we have no idea what the radio business is all about. We just like to joke around and talk trash all day long. And I think that's what makes people listen to this show. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, listen, we've got a great call lined up for you right now. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and lead into Teddy. Teddy is who I was talking about at the top of the show when I was my American Foods distributor. Teddy, you out there listening right now?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. It's great to hear your voice first thing in the morning, as always. Listen, Teddy, I talked about you in the beginning of the show, just kind of gave a little insight into your history and your background, talked about your, what you do for the restaurant business and how long you've been involved. But I want to kind of pass the torch over to you at this point. Go ahead and give the listeners out there a little bit of information on yourself, who you are, what you've done, your accolades over the years, and what you can do moving forward to help out the small guys in the restaurant industry like myself.
Well, appreciate it, Eric. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, buddy.
For having me on today. Grew up in the restaurant business since the age of 6. Ran multiple restaurants, family-owned. Started a chef business. When I was younger, we catered to sports figures in Boston, sports teams. Got into distribution, manufacturing, you name it. I've explored all of it. I became a site selector up north from Boston. Been here in Florida for 8 years. Got into the restaurant brokerage because it made sense of what I was doing. My owners were wanting to open up locations here and there. So we became site selectors for Texas Roadhouse, Starbucks, Subway, Cracker Barrel.
Very cool.
Very cool. I looked at food service, Eric, and it was kind of boring. All right. Yeah. I love cooking. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a chef by any means, but I hire smarter people to work in my operations.
That's it.
And to help and to really shine. But I got to the point in food service where it really got really boring for me. Meaning just working and
just the mundane day-to-day, going through the motions kind of thing. Sure. We've all been there before, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Family business, our longest restaurant that we had, we owned it for 38 years, seafood spot outside of Salem, Mass.
Wow.
So, working 80 to 100 hours a week, I loved it. It just got to the point where, creativity wise, I was stagnant.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, yeah, whatever I could do in food service to really keep it fresh and to keep myself, relevant, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I explored all options. So I started marketing our tartar sauce. I got my first UPC code. I put it into a chain of supermarkets up north, and that kind of opened the door.
Wow.
Because as we were evolving in the food service business, and you and I talk about this all the time, it has changed drastically in the past COVID years.
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
As far as consumers are more conscious where they're going to spend their money, the competition, costs are up. Restaurants are closing, but at the same time, on the back end, you have restaurants opening. Yep. So, the competition's not really going anywhere. It's here. It's here to stay, I think.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
Just changing.
Yep.
It's changing. And, food service used to be protected regardless of what was going on in the economy because everybody defaults to food.
Yeah.
We're happy. We're sad. We have a family event. We're going to celebrate something. A couple extra dollars in our pocket. We're going to go get that drink. We're going to go get that dessert.
Yeah, food brings people together in good times, bad times, and different. Food is always going to be the common denominator where people can sit around the table, relax, talk about what they need to talk about, and be able to enjoy it with their family. It's always been the gathering point for several families and business owners and whoever. Food is definitely the centerpiece of the economy when it comes to things like that, for sure.
Absolutely. And we were kind of protected regardless of what was going on previous.
Yeah.
Today's battle is a new war. This is new grounds that even the chains, you mentioned earlier, Mike mentioned about the CEO. Where was he for Wendy's?
Right.
They're stepping into landmines themselves. Suppliers are who's dictating where they're going to send product and who's going to receive product and how many cases of product you're going to receive.
Right.
They've never had the upper hand before.
Yeah.
It was demand driven by the consumer, by the chains, the big boys
Yeah, they
around
controlled
the
it.
country.
Yeah.
They controlled it
Mhm.
based on sheer volume, and they were, they established those relationships a long time ago. They got great product. Their food cost was minuscule compared to you and me as mom and pop operators.
You got that right.
And right now, they kind of flipped the script on them. The manufacturers did, and COVID obviously changed the landscape to the detriment of our industry in a bad way, because the first thing that went out the window was loyalty, unfortunately.
Sure.
And right now, it's just the struggle to survive. The industry itself, it's not dismal; it's booming. So this year, the industry is still they're speculating. Forecasting it's going to reach 1 trillion sales for this year.
Wow.
As an industry.
Wow.
So now how you and me and everybody else can get a percentage of that trillion, that's another story.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another story. And that's why like we always talk about pricing and everything. Whatever the competition is doing, my theory, my dad's theory is, don't pay attention to the competition, because you do not know his wallet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know his overhead. You don't know how much he's making. If he wants to work for free, let him.
Yeah.
What do we need to do to keep our doors open? What's good for our family? What's good for our customers?
That's it. Just focus on what's in front of you and run it the best way you possibly can, and be as efficient as possible, and try to eliminate mistakes and just have a great little running business there. That's all you can do. You can't worry about the other guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And my dad, we came from Greece when I was a little kid. So my dad had to learn the language. He went to night school to learn English. He had 2 days during the job, and one of the jobs was working in a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 4 years after being in this country, he purchased his first restaurant.
Wow. 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Wow.
4
he
years.
worked.
Learned the language.
He worked.
Hard worker.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great.
he's my mentor.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
You can't find a stricter mentor than a Greek businessman.
Yeah, I understand that one for sure. 100%.
Right.
Yeah. 100%.
But at the same time, there's things that I've learned from the big boys, the operators, the multi-units and the chains, how they went to market, how they did business.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started tweaking a few things to allow us to make a little more margin, to allow us to keep the doors open longer.
Yeah, and apparently whatever you did worked, because you said, what'd you have it for 39 years, Teddy? Is that what you said?
30. Yeah, we sold it. We sold it after 37 years in business.
That's impressive. That's impressive. You just don't see that anymore unless you're like a big chain or someone with really deep pockets. You know what I mean? That's really commendable. That's a good long run right there. Now, why did you guys sell? Did you just decide you were done with it? Like, I'm tired of working like an animal every day of the week.
Yeah, well, in our world, back at that time, we didn't expect take any credit cards.
Right.
So to have a cash business out there and not to have anybody oversee it, not to have a family member working it, you really have to trust your staff.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
did. We had a great run with good staff. 37 years. I mean, we would hire them in junior high school.
Yeah.
Right through high school, right through college. And as a secondary job for extra money after they got married.
Sure.
So we had thousands of employees, and just a great relationship in the community and the town.
Yeah.
My dad got sick, and I always had 2 or 3 other companies I was running. So my dad got sick. He had a heart condition. Older. The stress he couldn't handle anymore, so it was time. It was time to sell it.
Yeah, all good things have to come to an end eventually. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's impressive, Teddy. I'll tell you. I mean, just what an amazing run over the years. And I'm doing what I do over at Goodfellas. And hopefully in 39 years,
you're doing amazing. Thank you for that Super Bowl catering party you sent us.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I was happy to do it. Of course, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Everything you do for me, Teddy. I'm absolutely going to put my heart and soul in what I do for you, because you're definitely one of my number one fans out there, and we definitely at Goodfellas, and myself and especially, appreciate the what you do for us, because you do spread the word for me. You do everything you can in your power to make sure that I'm successful, whether it's pricing, whether it's marketing, advertising, suggestives, whatever it is. You're one of my number one fans, and that's why I was so looking forward to having you on the air today, because you take care of us, and I want to take care of you. at the same
Well,
time
thank
as
you.
best I can.
Thank you.
No, it's our pleasure.
So, yeah. Well, right now, Eric, we're in a warfare, right, with pricing.
That's true.
We're in a warfare with product.
Oh yeah, I know.
And the benefit back then, we didn't have the malls open on Sunday. There were no malls.
Right.
So people would go out to eat.
Mhm.
We didn't have Happy Meals.
Yeah.
We didn't have the competition that today's competition. Yeah, and again, the consumer is a little more educated,
Right.
and they're very conscious of where they're going to spend their next.
No, of
Where
course.
they're going to spend their next dollar.
Yeah, and
So,
that's
however.
well, I was going to say that's why it irritates me, as an owner operator, like not to go back and beat up on KFC, but to go back to this pizza dilemma that we're going through right now. I mean, people will go there and they will buy that pizza. And KFC will make more money just selling that one product this year than my restaurant will make for the entire year selling every item that I have on the menu. And that's it's preposterous that people don't, they'll go and eat that crap food and spend $10 for that. But, for me to try to drive them into my doors, and experience me, it's almost, it's an uphill battle at some point because you want to attract new customers. You want to give them the best product that you possibly can. But at the same time, just the general awareness of what's out there, because it's just so easy. It's convenient. It's a household name. People are going to go and eat that crappy food and not go and explore better options out there, like my restaurant or maybe Mike's restaurant out there in Land O'Lakes. It's tough. It's tough because you can see the quality that you provide as an operator. And you see the passion and the heart and soul you put into your restaurant from the day you open the doors until the day you sell it 37 years later. And then you look at KFC and they've got a line wrapped around the door and they're eating crap food. People are just getting crap from them. And it's irritating sometimes,
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why, as much as I love this industry, I hate it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. If anyone understands that statement,
and-
it's these two guys you're talking to right
Yeah,
now.
of
Believe
course.
me, if anyone understands that.
The greatest pizza dilemma.
But what keeps me engaged is operators like you. You and I met through a mutual friend,
Yes.
Dave
Yep.
Lucadano.
Yep.
And Dave was saying, you got to help Eric. You got to help Eric. And I've heard before what you were doing for the community. You were doing the meals for the children. I
Sure.
mean, to me,
Yeah.
I'm all in for someone that does that for the community. And you're a great guy on top of that.
Well,
so
we appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Teddy.
and that's how you and I met. And so that's what keeps me engaged is I want people. I want to help people. I want their businesses to do well and to decipher that noise between the big boys and the not so quality items that they offer each and every day at a premium dollar.
Yeah,
it's
premium.
not cheap.
No, a premium dollar. Like I said, I spent $20 on those two crappy things yesterday, and I regret it. But I'll tell you what, Teddy, I ate every last damn drop of that food that was in that box because I said, if I'm paying $10 for this crap, I'm finishing it, man. And I don't know if that was the right decision because my stomach was hurting last night and I had trouble sleeping. So I don't know if it was the pizza that caused that, but I will tell you, I was having some stomach issues last night.
Right.
I was just talking to Mike about that right before the show. As a matter of fact, that's so funny.
And that's the only, Eric, and that's the only way we can separate ourselves is to continually doing what we can do different, and
That's
that is to control the quality. People are going to come back for the quality, for the experience, but they're also going to come back for you.
Of course.
We do business with people we like.
Yeah, that's it.
And
that's the way it should be.
Right, and that's where we can leverage. What kind of relationship can people have with KFC besides a brand?
That's it.
Right?
No, you're 100%.
You and I
right.
are the humans behind the operation. Your staff over there. You got a great staff, by the way, over there.
Yeah, they do a great job. They do. I got lucky. I'm fortunate with the staff I have out there at Goodfellas because they all take pride in what they do. And, I've got no wild cards in that building right now, which is nice. I can count on everyone that's in there to do the job that I expect them to do and what they get paid for. And they do it graciously and they don't complain. I was lucky, with the people that I brought aboard. I don't know, call it luck, call it good hiring. I don't know what you want to call it, but it ended up definitely working out in my favor for sure. They're a great group that I have working for me over there. Like I said last week, they give me the ability to do this and have the flexibility and the freedom to not have to worry about being there, 12, 13 hours a day, slaving, and breaking my ass all day long. I can do fun stuff like this and talk to great people like you on the air, hang out with my buddy Mike that, I've known for 20 plus years and just have a good time with it, So props to my staff out there. Listen, Teddy, I got to keep this thing moving along. It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you this morning. Hey, if you
Same
want to
here.
stay on the line with us, we're about to roll into the top 10 list here in just a second. And what I'll do is I'll introduce the top 10 list as soon as we do this little bit of the intro. I got Peter on the line too. All right, cool. Peter, stand by for just a minute. Let me do the intro into this top 10 list, and I'll grab your call real quick. All right. Today's top 10 list, everyone, is going to be the top 10 franchises in the country that are ranked by franchise owners, from number 10 being the least effective to number 1 being the most profitable and the best restaurant franchise that your hard-earned dollar can buy. Before I get started on this top 10 list, you said Peter? Peter, are you out there? Can you hear me?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Peter. Thank you for calling in this morning. What can we do for you on this fine Thursday morning, my friend?
Well, I was excited because, you're my friend and so's Teddy, and I was just going to ask a question because you guys are both in this experts in this field. With COVID hitting and a lot of restaurants shutting down, it seemed like the delivery takeout business got bigger. And do you expect that to keep going that direction?
It's hard to say. I think so. I think that people find comfort now in takeout and delivery versus going out to the restaurants and sit down and eat. So I think that the takeout industry is still going to continue to trend in its direction that it's going right now. But I'm also going to tell you, Pete, that at the same time, a lot of these people now, the CDC just changed their guidelines 2 days ago for COVID. So if you test positive for COVID, you don't even have to quarantine anymore, is what they're telling everybody. So you literally can, if you test positive for COVID, you can just go to work and you can hang out with everybody and hopefully
it's no big deal.
Yeah, hopefully you don't get anybody sick. So I think that now with the less strict guidelines, and now that COVID is more of just a flu than it is like a killing machine like it was apparently when it first rolled out in 2020, people are going back out to the restaurants again. They're sitting down, they're eating, but I think that they still find comfort in that takeout and that to-go delivery business because they were just so used to it for such a long time that I think it's going to continue to be on an upward trend. But you never know. We might go back to what it used to be, but if we do, it's going to be a long road to get back there. I think these third-party apps are still going to profit big from this delivery system that they offer. And I think that restaurants that offer takeout and delivery are going to see, like a good steady increase in sales across the board. Ted, if you're still out there, do you agree with me on that?
Absolutely. People will always pay for convenience.
Yes.
And I think with COVID, it really spoiled everybody. And case in point, Instacart.
Instacart. Wow.
How many people still use Instacart for Publix, for Sam's Club, or whatever services they offer?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
They're thriving
my wife and I,
as an organization.
Yeah.
My wife and I like to go out and eat, but you know what? There's a lot of times we say, "Yeah, let's go out and eat," and then it's like, "Will you pick it up on the way home?"
Yeah.
So I think that I'm not talking about that in a bad situation. I just think it's that restaurants have gotten wiser, saying, I've got to have a very strong delivery takeout because people have gotten used to that. It changed some of our habits. And I don't know for the better or the worse, but I just think it did. It forced people to do things that they normally weren't used to.
Sure. And
it seems like a lot of people are. I see a lot of people using the delivery takeout.
Yeah, and we've gotten lazy.
And we've gotten lazy too.
Not only do we want to get fat on your food, but we're too lazy to go get it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like to call that the younger generation.
I don't know, man.
Look at delivery service was a birth of COVID or the pandemic.
Oh, of course.
Just like Zoom meetings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
That's true.
Before COVID.
And I got to tell you.
Now we're all comfortable doing that.
I don't know how to use any of it. I don't know about you, Peter, or Teddy over there, but I've heard of this Zoom. I don't know anything about it, man, because I've never, even during COVID, when I was working for the restaurant up there in Palm Harbor, I didn't have the luxury of not going to work. I was considered an essential worker, believe it or not. And so my dining room closed down. We weren't allowed to have customers in the building sitting at tables, but we still did an amazing takeout and delivery business through the entire COVID. I was never told to go home, or I was never. We were never. I mean, I never
We
missed.
just kept going to work.
I never missed a day of work during
Me
COVID,
neither.
and it was nuts because we were so busy with takeout and delivery and to go during COVID. But then you look out in the dining room and it's just a ghost town. There's literally no one in the dining room. The chairs are up on the top of the table, but I got a full rail of tickets in the back, and I'm like, where's all this coming from? You look out front, there's nobody there. It was weird. It was creepy.
You know what's coming next on the delivery?
What's that?
We will actually spoon feed you the food.
Oh my God! I'll tell you what, and if anyone out there is listening, if that ever comes to that, forget about it, man.
And we'll work their TV remote for
Oh
you.
God!
86
Where do I
grapes.
sign up?
Dealer's choice on the TV shows, though. I'll tell you that at that point. Hey, listen, let's get into the top 10. Pete and Teddy, while I got you on there, top 10 franchises as far as ease of use, profitability, and franchise fees are concerned. Your best, your money going to work for you. Take a stab at this. I got number 10 through number 1. Teddy, what do you think one of the top 10 on this list is going to be? Now, think about all these franchises out there, and we talked
Definitely the Cadillac of the industry a few years ago was Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory did come in at number 9, as a matter of fact. Teddy, good job on that one. Absolutely. How about you, Pete? You want to take a stab at it?
I think it's been big for a long time. Probably Subway.
You know what? Subway's not on my list, which is interesting.
Oh, man.
I've got number 1 through 14 listed here. I'm only going to highlight the top 10, but Subway did not make this list. And this list was presented by NerdWallet. They do their research, so they know what's going on. Ed's got his hand up back there. Ed, take a stab at it.
I did good last week.
You were 2 for 2 last week. You pissed me off.
I'm going to go with Domino's.
Domino's came in at number 11. It did not make the top 10. It came in at number 11. But Ed, that was a very commendable. Then you took a great stab at that, and I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, number 10. But this is a weird one. Some of these are not what you would think. You think of like these big franchises like Domino's or like Cheesecake, blah blah blah, whatever. Some of these are smaller, but they're massive. They're behemoths. Number 10, Ben and Jerry's. Apparently, they have outlets, Ben and Jerry's outlets. Now, this list says that it takes about $200,000 to about $505,000 to open up a franchise of Ben and Jerry's.
There's one on Clearwater Beach.
Is there one on Clearwater
Yes.
Beach? Yeah. Okay.
Right there where Hooters is next.
Okay.
to it.
So on the low end, you can get in there for $200K. On the high end, depending, I guess, on how you want your build to be and how big the building is going to be, $500,000. That came in at number 10. Number 8, everyone knows this place, Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Yeah. Now,
My
apparently.
favorite.
On that, the minimum is about $357,000 to open a franchise, upwards of $2.2 million for the franchise.
Wow.
Absolutely. That's that's a big number.
Remember when they used to have the dine-in? You could go in.
Sure, man.
Salad bar.
Yeah.
Salad bar.
Salad bar.
Salad
yeah.
bar.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
I got to tell you guys, if you're out there listening, I was just talking about this yesterday at work. I love a salad bar. I don't know what it is, man. I
Nothing
walk
better
into
than salad bar.
God, I walk into a place with a salad bar and it just puts a smile on my face. And my wife, she can't stand salad bars because, like the germs and whatever. She, and I get it. A lot of people are that way. But if you put a salad bar in front of me, man, forget about it. And there's always pudding at the end for some reason. There's always chocolate, right? Chocolate pudding and vanilla pudding, just ready to go.
Mixed in your lettuce.
Oh, yeah, forget about it. It's the best, man. Sonny's Barbecue. I used to love just going over there just for the salad bar, man. They load it up, man. They got all kinds of stuff.
Remember Shoney's Breakfast?
Shoney's Breakfast Bar. Oh, my God. I was a fat little kid. We used to go there with my parents, and I remember just eating pounds of bacon at breakfast when I was a kid. It was the best.
The one in my hometown shut down because they were putting the food back on the buffet.
No. Oh, my God. And that is why my wife doesn't like going to buffets. That's a
smart move.
See, then I'll still go, but that's probably one of the main reasons why. Moving up on the list, number 7, Dunkin' Donuts franchise made the list at number 7. They're everywhere. Franchise fees, the build out and franchise fees for that, anywhere between $95,000, which was surprisingly on the low end, up to $1.5 million for a build out of a Dunkin'. Number 6 coming in, Behemoth, McDonald's. You know what I mean? McDonald's, that's a huge one. I know we've got the Casper Corporation out in Tampa. I'm not sure what the other groups are, but I know Casper owns every McDonald's pretty much is out there in the Tampa Bay area. I mean, they just crush it,
Some in Georgia, too.
What's that?
Some in Georgia, I think.
Does Casper have some in Georgia also, Teddy?
Yeah. I believe so.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's a behemoth. I mean, they're just as big as McDonald's, if not, bigger.
Yeah, juggernaut.
Yeah, right. KFC came in at number 5.
Oh, we're going to bump them back to 15.
I know, with their crappy. They're
before
losing
or
steam.
after the pizzeria?
Man, I don't know. This list was as of 2024, so I don't know when it went into publication, but franchise fees for that with build out 1.4 million to 2.7 million. Apparently, you got to have a couple bucks in the bank to open up a KFC, according to this list.
To trick everybody into a pizza.
Yeah, right. Number 4 coming in, Taco Bell. Everybody loves Taco Bell. That makes sense to me as well.
Oh, I know who's first.
Yeah, oh, you think so? I don't know. I bet you.
Chance?
I bet you. No, when I get to number 1, Ed, I'll let you take a stab at it. How's that sound? But I'm going to tell you what, you don't know who number 1 is because I would have never guessed this either. I bet you think number 1 is this one that I'm about to say, number 4 with Taco Bell. Was that what you were going to say?
No.
Okay. Taco Bell comes in at number 4, $525,000 to $2.8 million for a build with franchise fees. Number 3, Papa John's.
Papa John's.
Now, apparently,
That was my other choice, Papa John's.
Was that what you were going to say, Teddy?
I was going to say that one instead of Domino's.
Okay, got you. Yeah,
but I didn't know how popular Papa John's. You remember they took a little hit.
They did take a little hit. They had some
PR
unsavory things
hit.
going on there a few years back, and they had some personnel changes in the
then
high up.
Shaq came in and just blew the
them
thing up.
Yep.
I mean, it went crazy.
Well, apparently, they have a crazy aggressive franchise structure, about $300K to get it going, but they don't charge you any franchise fees or anything. That's it. They charge you the $300K for the build out. You buy the rights to the name, and then they don't have any royalties across the board. And when they do, they're minuscule compared to the rest. You know what I mean? So apparently they give you like no franchise fees for the first like 5 years or so. I could be wrong on that timeline, but then after that, the franchise fees are so minuscule you'll never even realize that you're paying them. Yeah,
My buddy Mike runs a Popeyes.
Oh,
not a Popeyes,
Papa John's.
Papa John's.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll ask him.
Yeah,
I got
I'd be curious.
I got a friend that owns 3.
3 Papa John's?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it not Peyton Manning, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Didn't Peyton Manning own a bunch of Papa John's? They got robbed during the Super Bowl?
I think so.
Right? A couple years. Yeah.
it was a couple years
well,
ago.
I mean, it was quite a while ago, but yeah, he had a bunch of Papa John's too, and they got robbed while he was playing the game.
Yeah,
a bunch of gunmen came in there and robbed one of his Papa
Because they
John's.
knew where he'd be.
Yeah, right. He ain't going to be in
Not
the
at
restaurant.
Papa John's.
I really doubt that Peyton Manning's back there flipping pizzas anyway. But
I'd
like to see it though.
I'd
yeah.
like to see it.
The guy can throw a football. Maybe he can throw a pie in the air.
You think he can get his head through the door? He's got a big old head.
He does.
He's got a big old
Yeah,
melon.
he really does, man. It's getting bigger as he's getting older.
It might not be
I wonder
safe.
if he walked in the store and Mama said I'd get robbed.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
He is from Tennessee.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Well, New Orleans, then Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
Number 2 on the top 10 list. Everyone knows this one. If you've ever gone to a mall in your life, Auntie Anne's Pretzels.
oh wow.
Yeah, $199,000 to $385,000 in
They're in
franchise
every
fees
mall.
and rights.
They're in
Every
every
mall.
mall.
You see them everywhere. They've got
Every mall.
kiosks. They've got the
And Subway's
food court.
destroying them right now.
Are they?
Have you gotten one, the foot-long pretzel?
No.
Nasty.
Really?
How can something be cooked in 25 seconds?
That's it. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
It goes from, I think, a refrigerator or whatever to an oven, and it's just flash cooked for 25 seconds. It was rubber.
Really?
It was rubber.
Are you talking about Subways or Auntie Annie's?
No, I'm talking. It is Auntie's pretzel.
Oh, I see.
They
I
are
see.
selling it there.
But Subway's selling it. I got you. I
Yes.
got you. Really?
Mm.
Huh. I know Subway introduced a foot-long chocolate chip cookie. I saw that on a commercial.
That was
did see
decent.
that.
That was decent.
Was it good? Yeah.
Decent.
I like a good chocolate chip cookie, but I don't know. You know, it's interesting. A foot long, that seems a bit excessive. I don't know.
I mean, you need to put longer cookie. I mean,
Yeah.
you might need to rethink your strategy in life.
Right. And did you want to take a stab at number 1? Because we are at number 1 right now.
I thought it'd be Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, that would be a good one, but it's not. It didn't make this
Wow.
list. I'm sure it's on somebody's, but this
Well,
one
if
here.
they'd open on Sunday, they'd be number 1
But-
because
but-
they had more revenue.
You might be right. Yeah, like they need it. Yeah, Baskin Robbins apparently came in at number 1.
Really?
The ice cream joint. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it costs about $95,000 to $402,000 to get one open. So I guess just the easeability and the ease of access to get one going is where this list came from. You know, as far as like the smaller amounts of money and the lesser royalties that you pay for name notoriety and for the lease on the name, kind of makes this list what it is. So yeah, that was something interesting today for the.
They're
top
owned
10
by
list.
Dunks, aren't they? Owned by Dunks.
You know,
Baskin Robbins?
I think they're involved with them in some way, Teddy. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if they're owned by them, but I do see them connected all the time. So
Yes.
they've got
Right,
something
right.
going on together. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Listen, everybody out there, we've got to go on a short break. You're listening to the Knife and Fork Radio Show. Call lines are still going to be open at 771-441-3000. We will talk to you when we get back from the break. It's a Knife and Fork Radio Show with your esteemed hosts, Mike and Eric. Talk to you in a few.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
At Goodfellas Knife and Fork Italian Kitchen, we never compromise quality. Every dish is made to order, and everything that goes in the dish is made from scratch. From our delicious marinara sauce to our homemade croutons that go on your Caesar salad and everything else in between. We offer dine-in, takeout, and delivery as well. Call us at 727-841-8864 or check us out on the web at www.goodfellowsitalian.com. We also have a full catering menu available for all of your large party needs. Mention this ad and get 10% off your entire order. Once again, that's Goodfellas Knife and Fork Italian Kitchen. We're located at 5446 Grand Boulevard in beautiful downtown Newport Richey. You can reach us at 727-841-8864. Check us out on the web at www.goodfellowsitalian.com.
This year, the magic is calling you like never before. The Bay Area Renaissance Festival is celebrating its 45th anniversary, and you won't want to miss a moment. Experience the all-new Mermaid Cove, House of Dragons Pub, and enjoy classic favorites like live armored combat jousting or tasty turkey legs. Now is the perfect time to get your discounted tickets. Visit select Circle K locations or find your magic today at BayAreaRenFest.com. Huzzah!
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Knife and Fork Radio Show with your hosts, Mike and Eric. I'll tell you what, those were a couple of good callers we had right there. I know both those guys. I know them both well. Teddy, obviously, now everyone out there listening knows who Teddy is. And Pete actually is another great guy as well, the other caller that was on there. Pete, you're still out there?
I'm still listening.
Okay,
man.
yeah. Okay, good. Pete actually has a great marketing business, and he does my menus for me, as a matter of fact. So what Pete does is he goes out and finds advertisers for the menu.
Okay.
So, like, let's say you own a business unrelated to the restaurant industry. You own a hair salon, right? And then he'll go and he'll offer you an advertising package on my menus. He'll take the menus and he takes my actual menu, prints it on heavy gauge, beautiful paper, graphic design, full 3-fold layout. And it's got on the inside left and inside right, it's got the advertisers. And on the back cover, it's got the advertisers as well. But on the inside middle, and I want to say maybe on the right side too, you can find my menu on there.
Nice.
And for the restaurants, he does this free of charge for the restaurant. But he goes out and he finds the advertisers, and the advertisers actually put their ads in there, and that pays for the print, production, graphic design. And the only thing he asks of me is that I put one in every bag and I promote it and I talk about it and I try to find up some additional advertisers for other operations as well. So kudos to you out there, Pete, for doing a great job and always taking care of us in the restaurant. You took care of my deli when I had that going. Now you're taking care of my restaurant as well. And you really do a great job. You and your staff and your crew, you do an excellent job with the graphics and with everything, Pete. And we thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, I used to be in the health club industry, and I got a body for restaurants. So I love what I do.
Yeah.
And and you know, it was great when things were really tough because everybody was scraping to find money, and they loved the idea of getting not just free menus but quality.
And they are quality too. I mean, that's the key word behind it too, because they're done right. The graphic is perfect on there. I mean, unlimited revisions, you know, going back and forth with me to make sure that it's tweaked out and it looks exactly the way that I want it as the owner operator. And then once it's done, it's final, it's proofed, it goes to print. And then literally he just pulls up and he gives you boxes and thousands of menus at a time. I actually had to take him to storage. Yeah. What's that, Pete?
Eric, you know, and let's be straight up. The last one we did for you, we messed up. And what did we do?
Yeah, there was a hiccup with it. Yeah, there was a hiccup with it. And within 2 days, the new menus were hand delivered to me with the correct graphics and everything, you know, the way that I wanted it. It was a small hiccup, but you made it right. Within 2 days, you had everything that I needed right back in my hands again. And again, it just goes to show the quality of work that you and your crew do and the integrity that you have as a company. And we really, really appreciate you guys and everything you did for us so far and moving forward.
I appreciate it. I think I'm going to be on the show next week.
I hope so.
I'm coming on Pete's show next week too, just like he came on mine.
You got it. Yeah. I'd love to get you guys. I'd love to get you guys on there. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go into a real quick, just a little topic that I had. Now, you know, this kind of like hits home for me a little bit, and I wanted to touch on this. Now, Mike, you know that unfortunately, my dad, he passed away about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Recently, yes.
Yeah, and he was a pivotal part in the development of this new restaurant, the Knife and Fork, with the opening and getting things moving. So this is kind of like almost like a supernatural story, but it kind of hits home a little bit, and it's very strange. And everyone knows that birds apparently have like superstitious qualities about them. They represent different things, and they make like they're there's signs of something else, like everyone says. And I'm not a superstitious person in the least.
Phoenix, albatross,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not a superstitious person in the least. But this one, I wanted to share this with you guys about maybe, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was already gone for the day. And then I come to work the next day, and my workers tell me, they're like, hey, there was a cardinal inside of the building last night, and they took a picture of it, a bright red cardinal. Like, wow, that's pretty wild. I mean, he flew in the door, right? When somebody opened the door, and this cardinal just flies right in, sits down on the ledge where the window is, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get this guy out of there. They've got like a broom trying to push him, and not trying to hurt him, but just trying to scoot him out a little bit, So apparently, at some point, the cardinal flies across the building, and then there's a little, I call it my office. It's a table set up in the dining room because I don't have an office, but my crew actually made me a sign, and it says Eric's office. It's on my table. And so when I do my work, if I'm doing anything on the computer, writing, paying bills, doing payroll, blah, 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 that's my seat. And everyone knows that's where I sit. So apparently this cardinal gets up from where it was sitting by the window, flies across the dining room, and lands on my chair. We're on the chair where I sit, and only I sit. And then they're trying to get it off the chair. The cardinal will not get off this chair for any reason whatsoever. They're pushing with the broom. It's fighting them. It wants to sit on my chair. So these guys had to open the door, pick the chair up with the cardinal on it, take the chair outside. And then at that point, the cardinal flew away. So I looked this up. Like, what does a cardinal represent? Because my wife told me, she's like, usually like a bird, like a cardinal means a sign from beyond, like a loved one's coming back to see. And now, like I said, my dad was a pivotal part in this restaurant getting open. And then all of a sudden, this cardinal flies in, lands on my chair, won't get up. So I looked it up. Well, that's exactly what that means. So apparently, like in what a superstition world, whatever it is, right, if a cardinal comes into your house, if someone recently has passed away, like a loved one, that's them sending you a sign. And the sign means that, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Well, I'm still here. Everything's going to be fine. How odd is that, Ed?
I thought this was going to go in a different direction.
No.
I thought cardinal would be on the menu the next day.
No, unfortunately, he did fly away. But how odd is that, though, that cardinal flew in, and then it's representative of that, lands on my chair, and just won't get out of the building. It just sits there, refuses to get up and get off my chair. They had to remove the chair from the building before that thing flew away. And like I said, I'm not a superstitious person. I don't have a lot of belief in anything like that. But that struck me as really odd.
I know your old man. It sounded like he wanted a sandwich.
Right. Yeah.
He came in for a sandwich.
Well, probably. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wanted to share that story because actually that happened before the show last week. And I put it on the list, but we didn't have time to get to it last week. So I just wanted to make sure we touched on that today.
That's awesome.
Usually we do a little bit of story time and things, but we ran long with our callers today, and we're going to have to put our story time on hold. We had a great show today. Again, Teddy, Pete, thank you guys so much for calling in. It was our pleasure speaking to you both today, and I look forward to seeing and talking to you guys in the next few days, which I'm sure I will over at the restaurant. We had a really good story time lined up for today, but we're going to hold off on that, and we're going to elaborate on that further next week.
Yeah, of course.
But just wanted to plug the restaurant again real quick because I didn't get an opportunity to do it today. Goodfellas Knife and Fork, located at 5446 Grand Boulevard. Offer dine-in, takeout, delivery, all made from scratch, all made to order. We do dine-in, we do takeout, we do delivery. We make everything right there in the building, right there in front of you, actually. We've got an open kitchen. You can see us working, making sure that we're doing everything the way that you want us to do it. Goodfellas Knife and Fork, 5446 Grand Boulevard. You can call us at 232-2474 or 727-841-8864. Dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Mike, did you have a good time today?
I had a great time.
So did I. Hell yeah. I'm very happy with our show that we had today. We had some great call-ins. We touched on a lot of good stuff. And as always, thank you so much for being there, keeping us in line, making sure we don't say anything stupid, because we tend to do that from time to time. You're listening to the Knife and Fork Radio Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network. It's always our pleasure being here. We look forward to doing it again with you next Thursday at 9.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City,
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored